When you think of different occults in The Sims 4, there are often different aesthetics that you associate with them, like vampires with gothic aesthetics or mermaids with beachy aesthetics. But what if we had to change all that? What if we ended up with a gothic mermaid or a beachy vampire? Wait, that would end very poorly. So today I want to build rooms in The Sims 4 for occult sims with random aesthetics. Quick disclaimer, I am part of the EA Creator Network and I have been gifted a small amount of packs in this video. However, all opinions are 100% my own and I will always speak my mind. So I've made up 2 wheels for today. We've got one full of every occult in The Sims 4, including like the weird ones, like Patchy technically isn't an occult, but I still thought it would be fun to include even those ones. And we have a whole wheel dedicated to aesthetics. So let's go ahead and spin first for the exterior occult, and we're going to be doing Patchy. Speak of the devil. And let's spin to see what Patchy's aesthetic is going to be, and it will be cyberpunk. Wait, that could be so cool. So Patchy is the scarecrow that can come to life in The Sims 4. He helps you with your garden and he carries a general fall aesthetic, whereas cyberpunk is usually a cityscape with tons of neon and futuristic elements. So I'm thinking today we build here in Sixim. This is actually a secret lot that comes with The Sims 4 Get to Work. It's technically an alien lot since we're on a planet, but I think with all the neon and the pink trees around, I feel like we could pull off a very interesting build out here. By the way, yes, my sim is a bear. Anyway, you're normally not able to build on this lot unless you cheat it, so we're gonna type in bb.enable free build. That'll open up the ability to build here. So my idea for this, obviously we're gonna start off with our shell, is that we're gonna focus mostly on the cyberpunk for now. So we're going for like an apartment building looking shell. It's gonna be kind of boxy, but there's going to be a lot of detail on here. And also I know it seems super dark building on this lot right now, but later on when we add the lighting, something about adding lighting on this lot brings a really cool glow to a build. Like look, when I start to add these spa day lights, which are going to be all over this thing, it almost has like a hazy sort of glow to it, which is gonna make for a really cool neon covered cyberpunk build. So for our balconies, I'm going in with a fence from Get to Work, and our wallpaper doesn't really matter because we're not gonna see much of it, so I'm just using this brick here from Journey to Batu. We're gonna add windows and doors, but I was thinking where we can bring in the Patchy element is by adding an indoor neon garden right at the front of the building. And we're going to completely light it up with these spa day light strips, and also I'm going to be lining the bottom and the top of each wall in this room. These are the RGB strip lights from high school years. We're gonna be seeing a lot of these as I'm going to be lining every wall on the outside too, on the bottom and on the top. Gonna be here doing this for a while. But once I'm done that, I can add some grass, we can add some planters, I can even add Patchy in there if I want to, so he can really help you tend this garden. I'm also going to be adding a bunch of these plants here. These are from Get Together, and I'm basically just doing it so you can see it from the outside. We're also going to honor Patchy's season, so I'm changing all of the lights in here to orange, yellow, or red. So normally when I do a cyberpunk build, it's full of purple, blues, pinks. This is going to be an entire cyberpunk build full of autumn colors. So now that I've mentioned these high school years lights, I'm gonna go ahead and line the top and bottom of every single wall on every floor. So I'll be right back. I'm also adding these glowing columns from City Living on every corner, and I'm using these big windows here also from City Living. All right, so far with all the lights, this is what we've got. I'm so happy we decided to build here because building this in a random place like Newcrest would just not do it justice. But now that we've done that, I need to bring back a little bit of the Patchy element. So you can see all of my balconies are covered in grass, but I'm also going to bring up some of these leaves. And since Patchy is from Seasons, I do want to add some decor and stuff around from that pack. So I want to add these trees all over the balconies. I was also thinking about adding a bee box up here. We can add some more gardening pots. We can still add the signs all over that are associated with cyberpunk builds. These are from For Rent. And then we can compensate by adding a nature element here. These are Realm of Magic lights. I was thinking some vending machines at the front could be fun. one. And then instead of regular city benches, we do these log ones from Horse Ranch. And I was also thinking about lining some of our windows with these from Eco Lifestyle. So I'm just raising them up and fitting them into the shape of those windows. This is also gonna look really good on the inside. And we can even add more fall decor out here, like these streamers from Seasons. Let's get that big neon base game sign right up at the top. But then in between as decor, we add these floral boxes as well. I was thinking in the back, Eco Lifestyle has this metal pergola, which kind of matches this aesthetic, and we can bring back some flooring. And here we can bring in even more gardening boxes. All right, so this is how our cyberpunk patchy build turned out. I really think it turned out so good. It looks so unique, especially with all of that color and just being in this world. I'm super happy with how it turned out. This is what it looks like to the side. I added a little bit of landscaping, which does look a bit out of place here, but I tried adding some patches of grass for the trees that are here. In the back again, we have our greenhouse, which I added a couple fairy lights going on up here. We've also, of course, got all the neon and the signs going on in the back. This is a fun challenge. I can tell already we're gonna end up with some really interesting rooms here today. I have also already done a layout, and I try to keep it big so we can include a lot of rooms. So we're gonna have 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom upstairs. We'll have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom on the second floor, and the bottom floor is gonna be open concept, kitchen, living room, all of that. And whatever we spin for next, we'll get this entire floor. All right, back to the wheel. Let's spin for the interior for Occult, and we're doing Mermaid. And let's see what our aesthetic is going to be, and it's gonna be space core. We're literally making a space mermaid. Obviously, mermaids generally have a whimsical ocean aesthetic, and for space core, we're gonna have everything to do with space, the complete opposite. Space mermaid is a concept that I have never thought of, but how interesting would that be? So obviously we're doing indoor pool, and I'm also going to be adding this flooring here from Horse Ranch, which I've also added up there on the ceiling. This is kind of ironic because it technically already would have been a space mermaid since we're already building in space, and I've actually added this pool here because mermaids in The Sims 4 can sleep in there. So we don't even have to do like a separate bedroom or anything. I have added those spa day lights though, and just to divide the room, I'm gonna add these waterfalls from Spa Day. Wait, I was just scrolling through Island Living Debug, and they have starfish. How did I not think of that? This is the perfect way to combine these two in the most literal sense. So I think I'm just gonna be adding these starfish like all around. I was actually here because I wanted to add rocks at the bottom of our pool with some coral, obviously now with some starfish, but I was also thinking adding the perfect patio stars down here would look really good from the top. So you're gonna see those like glittery things from the top of the pool. And then My Wedding Stories has these. These are like big ball lights. I was thinking we could either put them in the water as like planets, maybe just a couple in the corners or something. And then also we add a lounge chair in here. So I actually decided to ditch those waterfalls just so you could see the ceiling a little better. So now that we've got the pool figured out, let's spin around and do the rest of this floor. So we're gonna do a kitchen over to this side. I'm using counters from Spa Day, and for my cabinets, I'm wrapping them all the way around that wall so that underneath we could sneak in a big aquarium. We're gonna fully stock it with fish, and then I'm adding these mirrors here as a backsplash so that we'll be able to see the pool from the reflection. I'm also adding an island here with these chairs that give me that atomic space age vibe. Same thing with this dining table. And then since Island Living is the pack that comes with mermaids, I kind of want to bring in some of their furniture. So I'm going to use those chairs, and we're also going to use this couch. Wait, these weird Journey to Badu plants are perfect. They kind of already do look like coral, and the colors are perfect. The vase, these are going to go everywhere. Same as this, also from Journey to Badu. Like, what is that even supposed to be? I was also considering using these rings somehow. And what if in there we combine this shell wall decor from Get Famous? Since this is technically also this mermaid's bedroom, I'm going to use a dresser as my TV table. And actually, it just dawned on me for a story behind this entire build. What if this is a home for all of the occult rejects? Like, they either didn't fit in the school they went to or the field of work that they were in, and they somehow all find each other here in this house. All right, so if you've ever wondered what a space mermaid house looks like with a bear in it, excuse you, get back out of there. This is how it turned out. This challenge is so much fun. I never would have thought to see these two aesthetics together, but somehow they really work. And I sized up this mirror lamp from Werewolf wolves and put it in our water, which even sized up, it has this cool animation. I'm obsessed with this and the whole idea behind this build. Okay, let's spin our occult for the first bedroom, and we're going to do vampire. And our vampire aesthetic for our first bedroom is going to be pop art. So vampires often have a dark, mysterious thing going on, whereas pop art is vibrant, loud, and often cartoony. So before we do anything, I'm coming onto the gallery and I'm searching up pop art. I'm changing my category to rooms, so hopefully the only thing we get is like actual art. And I am going to comb the gallery for the perfect pop art that I'm looking for. I have noticed that there is a ton of lip imagery with pop art, and I'm thinking we take that and run with it. When you think of vampires, you think of their fangs, which are in their mouth. I think we can make this work. So I'm downloading this one from Lostine815 on the gallery. And I think with this, we can still bring in a dark element. Like, I think we could still do all black flooring and wallpaper. We could even use a coffin as their bed, and we changed some of the lighting in here to red. So for this wall behind the bed, I'm adding all of those lip pop art pictures that I downloaded, and we're basically making this as a gallery wall. I think the irony behind this is kind of funny. It's a very self-aware vampire. And then I need a couple other ones that are gonna match my color scheme. I'm thinking about trying this here from Fruit Loops 40. And then since some of these bigger ones don't have a frame, I think I'm going to add the Vlad picture behind them. So when I do this, I like to either stick it in the whole thing if it works, but this isn't going to. So I'm gonna shrink it once and just put them behind the picture. So it's gonna kind of look like the frame, but it's not actually. And we could even use some vampires furniture in here. Like, I could use one of the couches. We could use the dresser. We could also use the candlesticks as lighting. I also have this little nook in the corner, so I'm thinking about using this table from Snowy Escape, and I'll use that actually as my desk. So I'll add a chair here. We can add a computer on it, a vampire's mirror above, and the boldness of these rugs from Moschino could definitely fit the vibe. Like, there's stripy ones, there's polka dot ones. We could add this mirror from Moschino as well. And any opportunity where I need to add clutter, I'm adding things from vampires. All right, so here we have our pop art vampire room. I found this picture here. I was actually trying to find some like horror times pop art. This is the closest I could get. I also actually did find this art here from the gallery, which has the fangs in it. And this is how it's looking over to the other side with our computer back there. I added a rose. I like how there still is a bit of a romantic element in here too. I really want to make the Sims live here now. So there's the pop art vampire. I also went over and did a bathroom. And since our idea here is that these occults are rebelling in a way, I included the pictures from werewolves with like the vampires crossed out. Basic bathroom, not interesting compared to everything else going on in here today. But let's go back to the wheel and see what we're gonna do next. Spinning again for the next bedroom for the occult side, and we're doing the Grim Reaper. And spinning again for our occult aesthetic for Grim, we're doing futuristic. A futuristic Grim Reaper. Right. Obviously the Grim Reaper is associated with death and darkness. And for futuristic, we'll be focusing on tech and science related aesthetics. So in here, first of all, we need some lights. It's very dark. And for the bed, I think there's really only one answer here. We're going to be going with the sleeping pod. So, okay, the way that we're gonna make sense of this is when your sim actually dies in The Sims 4, the Grim Reaper will show up with a tablet. So he already has a bit of a dark tech side. So this is going to be his like dark lair. He's trying to figure out where he has to go next. He's basically keeping tabs on who's dying next in here. I'm gonna add some of the alien urns, which look like this. This way we're gonna be tying together our story as well, because like in an alien world, I feel like he'd collect a lot of these. But then behind the bed, we could add some of the graves from vampires and just have them surrounding the bed like that. We could also add a big TV here in front of those lights. I'm adding some of these glass futuristic looking chairs. And then we can add some of the Grim Reaper dolls from Nifty Knitting. We'll do even more graves over here in the corner. And there's also these interesting wall lights we could add from City Living. I'm also adding in some of these wall decals from Dine Out. And this is our futuristic Grim Reaper room. Somehow these are all working kind of easily. I thought we would have a hard time here today. But over to this side, I added this tactical map from base game. Also this like stock thing. I think these maps also move around. Yeah, in live mode, I can totally see this being the techie Grim Reaper's bedroom. All right, with that, we're ready to go upstairs. Let's spin for the next bedroom for the occults, and we're going to be doing Spellcaster. And our Spellcaster aesthetic for our bedroom is going to be grunge. So for a Spellcaster aesthetic, we're thinking whimsical, magical, maybe a little academic. And for grunge, we're thinking alternative, moody, and maybe musical themes. So I'm picking the biggest bedroom up here because we have room in this corner for a cauldron so they can practice their magic in here. I'm using the one without the crystals, a little dingy looking, and I think I still can use quite a bit of Realm of Magic items in here. Like we can use this rug and probably also the bed. But then on the other side, I was thinking of adding beanbag chairs, specifically these ones from high school years. And I also want to add a lot of music elements in here. So I'm adding some guitars. We'll add these two here, but I also wanted to add some of the basement stuff. So what if we added this old TV console and also maybe some trunks in behind our cauldron here, which I can stack on top of each other. I could also put these chairs back here, and on top of the storage, we can add some of the record boxes. So I can stack them like that. We could also maybe add some potions hanging around everywhere too. We could mount some broomsticks on the wall. I like the idea of having just like the not so good ones. We'll add magic books laying around. Since we had records everywhere, I'm raising up a record player from Modern Lux. And I also just want posters all over the wall. We can definitely find some from high school years. And then over to this side, we still have room for a desk. So I'm using this older one from base game. They could do some studying here, maybe some writing. So this is how our grunge Spellcaster build turned out. I added some brick accent walls in here. We've got some shelves up with more books. I like that the desk over here already came a little cluttered. So there's like boxes of books on it. I added a dresser over here, and on our table, something about this table I love. I feel like it captures the whole vibe. We've got the crystal ball, some books, a magic wand, and a record player. And then over to this side, we've got our cauldron area, which also turned out so cool with all the potions stacked. I've got some of the records on the wall. This truck art over here that I found from, I think, Horse Ranch. This seems like a really cool place to hang out. I feel like this would be a fun place to spend time. We have a couple more to go. Let's spin again for the occult, and this time we're going to be doing a ghost. And let's see what our ghostly aesthetic is going to be. We're doing bohemian. The ghostly aesthetics I think are going to be the hardest to nail because I don't know how to describe a ghost aesthetic other than spooky, out of this world, paranormal, but bohemian is very natural, relaxed. We see lots of organic textures. So we can do bohemian no problem. It's just bringing in the paranormal vibe. So I actually really like the brick that we used in the other one. I'm gonna bring that in here again. And I was thinking about using this bed here from high school years. The pattern is giving bohemian, but then we could do a spooky stuff end table. Let me see how much of spooky stuff we can actually use without losing our aesthetic. We could try and use our ghosty lights, and also we could shrink these down and do the fairy light trick that I like to do with these. I just think they look a lot better shrunken down, but then we could combine it with these other lights. I also want to bring in some plants, so I'm adding these ones. Maybe we do a jungle adventure mirror there with a rug underneath from Nifty Knitting. Something about these pictures really freak me out, especially this one with the lady in black just standing there. That has just always given ghosty vibes to me. For the dresser, I think I want to use this one here from For Rent. Should we add the ghost gnome with like a bohemian tapestry behind? Also, this picture could fit. I'm thinking we maybe shrink them and make them look like they're against the wall. And then we tie it all together by adding even more of the high school years furniture, like this chair, and also of course the egg chair. And then we fill any remaining space we have with plants. All right, so this is our ghostly bohemian room. I added tons of plants over here by our chairs. I also tried to include some base game ones here because I've always felt that they look like they're in urns. It's also very ironic that our only dead occult has the bedroom full of the most life. But I did also add some urns over here and some black flowers. And then over to this side, we have our cute little ghostly light, our bed there with our fairy lights. We have one more bedroom to go. Let's go back and see what we're gonna be doing for this one. And spinning for the final occult, there's not many left here. We're doing Servo. And for our Servo aesthetic, we are going to be doing, oh god, Vaporwave. That's gonna be iconic. So Servo is a robot that you can create with the Sims 4 Discover University. You can actually become a full member member of your household. He can clean, garden, repair broken objects. And the vaporwave aesthetic is bright, colorful, and often associated with electronic music. Wait, this is perfect. Okay, first of all, we need our actual servo. There he is. And we also need the robotics workstation. So he goes like right in there, and that's how you bring him to life. For the colors with vaporwave, we see a lot of like pink, blue, purple, and yellow. So I'm gonna change my lights in here. I'm gonna use checkered flooring, I think, with this gradient base game wallpaper. I think also for this room, we're bringing back the neon, so I'm lining all the walls one more time today. Whoa, that changed a lot. I'm gonna have to change some of these individually. I replaced the flooring with an actual dance floor, which fits the entire room here perfectly. And whenever you see vaporwave, there's almost always a sun associated. So I'm gonna add this big one here from high school years. We'll delete that one light in between. Maybe our servo can go over on this wall. And I'm picturing just like massive DJ servo. Okay, so we have our DJ booth, we have our servo over here, and I could also see us having these lights here from high school years. I can't remember if he actually needs a bed, but I'm gonna add one in here just in case. And a lot of the times with vaporwave, you'll see like a city landscape, so I'm adding this picture here from City Living, and this is one that just makes sense in my eyes. Like, it's a robot doing techno music. There's a little stereo that comes with Journey to Batu that is an actual robot, which I totally forgot about, but that can be his little friend. There's also a lot of palm trees associated with this, so I'm gonna add a palm tree. This is from Paranormal, and I don't want to add too much more in here because there's already a lot. We've got our servo, we have our robot station, a bed, and then over to this side we have our DJ booth. Maybe we can also just add some speakers around here, but other than that, I don't want it to get too crowded. But here's our servo vaporwave room, and I have totally loved this whole challenge idea. I feel like it was so fun to combine aesthetics. This would be a really good idea for gameplay too. Like if you're stuck or maybe in a rut, just take a random occult, give them a random aesthetic, and you've got storylines to go off of for days. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what your favorite room was in the comment section down below. I would love to do a cast version of this too, so if you want to see that, let me know. And if you guys like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.